Uh-oh.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to another amazing show. This is the Real Estate Marketing Roundtable. We are going to be doing some amazing stuff today. We're going to be talking about sex, rock and roll, mindset, and a whole lot of other things. We have an incredible guest, Mr. Tim Parnell out of Fort Worth, Texas. He's going to drop hammer on us and kind of what he's been doing. We have Mr. Jake Wolf with Cleverly, Mr. Nick Sakis. And guys, it's just going to be an amazing show. So stick with us. But here is our intro. Okay, and we're back. The intro actually played. I'm super excited about this. Tim Parnell, guys, if you guys don't know him, you need to love him. Tim, introduce yourself really quickly so everybody can know who you are, and they're going to get to my esteemed co-hosts. Co-hostesses, because that would mean you're B ladies.
Yeah, so Tim Parnell. I'm in the Fort Worth side of the Metroplex of Texas. This matters. Geography between Fort Worth and Dallas matters, especially when you're from here. And I have been a licensed realtor for 4 years. I think I just hit my 4-year mark, of which the first 2 I was full-time teaching while I was trying to get my real estate business up and rolling. And it's been fun transitioning out of teaching into full-time real estate and all the other cool shit that I get to do with my time that I never could have done before. So anyway, maybe we can talk about some of that while we're on here today.
Amen. I love it, man. I love it. We Mr. Nick Sakis. How are you, brother? The ever shrinking man. What is new? What's happening in Florida today?
You know what? We dodged a hurricane. I hope our good buddy Gene Volpe is doing okay. We texted him. I didn't hear from him. I know the hurricane ran up to through New Orleans and up into New York. We dodged it again. I don't know how every single time. It seems like Tampa and Florida, we seem to not get the brunt of that. So I'm very thankful for that. Other than that, it's still super hot outside, sweating, trying to lose weight more. And I'm pumped about this episode about mindset because it's something that has really changed my life in the past year.
I love it, man. I love it. Absolute pieces. And never the last, but always the first in my mind, Mr. Jake Wolf. How are you, brother? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing fantastic, Greg. Thanks for asking. Looking forward to speaking with Mr. Tim Parnell about mindset. He's got a fantastic story. Been doing fantastic, absolutely crushing it. As always, our mindset is full throttle all the time. So wanting to go ahead and share some of that with all of the people out there. Interesting title of the show, Greg McDaniel, by the way. What is it?
Yeah, that would be the Marketing Roundtable, Sex, Rock and Roll, and Mindset. That would be
All
our
right,
title for the show today.
So for all of you new viewers that just went ahead and came in because of that title, that was a marketing trick. All right, but stick around. We've got some awesome things to go ahead and give away at the end of the show. Huge, full, jam-packed 1-hour session of how to go ahead and turn $1 million mindset on in your brain.
Okay, so let's break that down, gentlemen. I want to put myself on mute just for audio quality. I have construction going on in the background. If you can't hear it, they are beating the shit out of the downstairs floors for the second day in a row. Super annoying. But let's talk about mindset. Let's talk about, well, we're not going to talk about sex. There's only 4 dudes on the show. That's going to get weird. But let's talk about just kind of like how you turn mindset into something that's sexy that you can turn into rock and roll. So you can put your business on just amplified, aka Nick Sakis business.
Whoa!
Amplified. You see how I did that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
Okay. And how you're going to be able to blast off with it. So Nick, Jake came up with the title, but with being amplified media. How in the heck would you go from, how would you change your mindset to be sexy, rock and roll, and then put it into business?
Oh, that's a loaded question. However, I do think, I'm a big proponent of what you think really matters, right? The information that you consume, and just like a diet you guys have been watching and following, I've lost a bunch of weight. And that's all about what you consume as far as the food that you eat, right? So if you eat junk, you feel like crap, you start to think that, hey, I am just this person who eats junk and I feel like crap all the time. And you can easily spiral into depression, like just because of the food that you eat. So when it comes to like your mind, and I applaud anybody for listening to our podcast, our shows, or shows like this, because you're consuming good content. You're trying and intending to be around people that are elevated with you, have a process or a thought of consuming valuable content instead of the garbage on TV, instead of the blogs on the internet that mean nothing, that it's kind of like social media. You can scroll through your Instagram for 45 minutes and look up, and I'll ask you, what are 3 things that you remember? And you don't remember anything because it's just mindless. It's not improving your well-being or anything with your personal life. So for me, it's all about what you consume. I'm very intentional about the information that comes in through my eyes and my ears, what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, because at the end of the day, whatever you think, it ends up being how you feel. And then how you feel turns into the actions that you actually do, which turn into the habits. And then that creates the outcome of your life. So you have to be very, very intentional about the things that you consume, both from a metaphoric standpoint and a physical food and all that good stuff.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. So you talk about mindlessness. Tim, sorry, I was looking at a different screen. Tim, when you were getting into the business, what was your mindset in regards to marketing, prospecting, business, the value you brought to it, and where have you gone from then until now that you could help maybe a new agent watching this?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I'm the kind of person I love to take on new ventures and adventures. I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur in that I've had more than one business while doing other multiple things at the same time. So I've got that personality trait, the kind that basically says, yes, I can, learn to play the piano and be an astronaut and, sculpt ice sculptures, whatever. Just that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And so that aside, when I choose to focus on something, I go real deep, real fast, and I learn everything I can about it, only if I give a shit about that topic. And so real estate, however, is one of those things that has lingered in my life since Turndial Television, because I've been watching, I can't remember his name, the little wiry Italian guy with the glasses that's been doing infomercials for decades, and he hasn't aged at all, that guy.
Gracchus.
Yeah. So he, I've been watching him since I was a kid and, teenager. And I was like, man, this real estate, there's something to it. And so, I mean, I read some books that didn't make any sense to me when I was younger. And then I went to college and I still was trying to read some real estate books while I was doing the curriculum. But at the end of the day, I just never let go of that seed that was planted. And since then, I mean, I've done kitchen and bathroom remodeling as a grunt worker, and I've done things in and outside of homes just in general in the business, but I've also been a licensed home inspector. That was awful. That was absolutely awful, because one thing that is true for me is I love talking to people. So being a licensed home inspector is the loneliest job in real estate, in my opinion, next to probably, appraisal. And you're just in a house. It's all paperwork. You're by yourself, lots of liability. Whereas at least in real estate, you're talking to people, a larger upside, frankly, as far as being a realtor. But all of that background and exposure gave me an insight to being a real estate agent that, as a brand new agent, I was just leaps and bounds ahead of even my competition that had been in the business a while. And I knew it right out of the gate. I knew it. And so that gave me a lot of confidence to say, hey, I can't be stopped. Like, there's nothing I don't, as far as home goes, and understanding a house and walking through the house, like that seems to be the topic that a lot of people are nervous about. And so when you get exposed to that early, you can just see things in ways and talk about a house in ways that others can't. Now, try to balance that with being a school teacher at the same time. That was crazy because, you're a full-time teacher, you're working, fortunately I got weekends and holidays off. But I'm trying to like be the best I can be as an educator while trying to be the best I can be as a teacher. But the truth is, you can't be great at any one thing when you're split down the middle like that. And so my goal then was, well, I've got to build my business to the point that it's self-sustaining, and then I can step out and then I can really focus. And so that was my primary objective. There was nothing that was going to get in the way. And as far as, you know, the mindset goes, you have to invest in yourself. You have to. And to sit there and say, well, you know, I'm the best because I have this baseline understanding doesn't mean anything. But what's really true is about 2 years in or on my second year, I was like, man, I don't know shit. I need somebody to help me out. I need a coach. So I paid for it. I paid good money for coaching, and it was worth every penny. I mean, I made my money back at tenfold and then some. And it's stuff that I still apply today. But that's the thing, is like, you're right. Nick, you're right. You got to clear the head. You gotta limit what comes through the eyes and the ears, and you've got to filter that, but you also got to be intentional about what you're taking in. And so I went from not reading a whole lot of books in my life to about 70 books in 18 months. And a lot of that was through audio, just to try and get up on my business game and my personal game, my communications, all that. So yeah.
I love it. That's amazing
Yep.
stuff right there. Jake, go.
So there's a book that I read years ago. And if you guys want a little bit of a hardcore steroid mindset shot in the rear end, Greg, why don't you share the screen here real quick? I want to go ahead and throw a shout out to Mr. Larry Winget. He wrote a book called Shut Up, Stop Whining, Get a Life. Now, it's not specifically real estate, ladies and gentlemen. However, it is going to put you in the right mindset. It's got a lot of really cool stories and things like that. I'd like to throw something out here. Now, we're all running a business, so we need to get into the mindset of acting like it and actually doing it, right? Performing all of these different services. So most of the time when people don't understand how to do that right, it's because of a lack of education. So it's very important to go ahead and jump in, find other people who are relevant, find books, find authors to set up your business systems and start running your business like a business instead of doing the one shot across the bow. The $1 million mindset is a correlation to the people who have invested their time, energy, and their non-infinite life into establishing a strong foundational support system that works for them. They understand exactly what they need to do, and they're taking massive amounts of action in order to go ahead and achieve levels of extreme success. Those people are pushing their brand forward. They've got systems and tools that are rocking and rolling. And that's a tough thing for a lot of people that are just starting out in real estate or have been in the game for a couple years and really have been kind of tied down in the sand traps here a little bit. All right. So there is a right way to go ahead and put that turbo into your engine and kick things forward. So, but it takes you, right, to go ahead and start. It takes you as an individual making a decision, talking to yourself, saying, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do full throttle, and I'm going to do this to the best of my ability. I'm going to find the right people to go ahead and surround myself with. I'm going to put the right business tools and support systems into my business. I'm going to grow my company. I'm going to expose it more. I'm going to consistently market. I'm going to stand on the throttle full time. So, you know, one of the big things from a personal standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, I always like to go ahead and debrief with myself at the end of the night. So, and here's what I do. You can never lie to yourself. All right. So you can always go ahead and put an image of superiority or exceptionalism out into the world and hope that other people perceive you as that. But inside, you are your own best meter. Okay. So you need to pray about it. You need to go ahead and have a conversation with yourself at the end of the day and ask some bold questions, because you can't go ahead and lie to yourself. Did I do the best that I could today for myself and all the people that depend on me? Did I do the best for myself and supporting my business because it is my responsibility to go ahead and handle those aspects? You need to start debriefing at the end of the day with yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Set personal goals for yourself, for you and for your business on a daily basis. And also, if you do take some time and try to get yourself into the right mindset, reflect on all the conversations and the experiences of your day, you're going to be able to go ahead and focus in on the places that you're extremely strong and and other places that need a little bit more support from you and or other people that might be necessary to bring into your circle. So, but it all starts with you. You have to make a personal decision. Do you want to do this? Are you going to be fully committed? Get into the mindset and all the rest of the stuff. There is a lot of opportunity out here in the world, ladies and gentlemen, to go ahead and pick up the right tools, right systems, right mindset type people around you. All right. So I always tell my children this. I grew up in an era where when you went to the library, I had to look things up on these cards and then run up and down the areas. Things weren't as easily available as they are now in our fingertips. So you are your own restrictor plate or your own beneficiary of success in your business. The whole world is at your fingertips. So there should be no excuses at all whatsoever. So get into the business mindset, ladies and gentlemen, and then make sure you hold yourself personally accountable. And that's one of my biggest messages of success. I know a lot of people in a lot of different industries extremely successful, and all of them have different systems set up, the right people around them. They hold themselves personally accountable, and they made a personal decision on going out and kicking ass in their own lane. So
let's talk about personal accountability really quickly. I think that's something that we should really talk about. I mean, Nick, you can jump in and talk about some stuff that's going on in your life if you want to. If you don't, then please don't. But this is a very open forum. Tim, I want to get your thoughts on this as well. Personal accountability is something that a lot of us are super afraid of, because then, and the old saying is that when you look into the abyss looks back. And so when you face your fears will look back at you. I know Nick is going through some stuff in his life. Tim, Jake, and I are all dealing with different things, but same things simultaneously. And all of us are struggling at some waypoint in life. So when it comes to doing that and getting your business going, when you find something that's fearful for you, gentlemen, weigh in for me, please. And anybody can speak whenever they want. How do you, well, number one, identify it, two, confront it, and then overcome it? And because I think a lot of us, I take that back. Every single one of us is going through something in life. And some are big, some are small. But when you identify it and then you confront it, how do you combat it? So, gentlemen, at your leisure.
I'd like to interject here because I like to talk on some simple fatherly teaching type terms. All right. So I know a lot of times we get bogged in our head on all of the different distractions. Now that you're running your own business, you're your own entrepreneur, you're your own real estate agent, and you're trying to put all of this stuff together. Okay. So most people have wanted to go ahead and get into real estate to go ahead and buy back their time, freedom. Okay. Most everybody that I've talked to over the last couple of years in real estate have told me at one point or another they wanted to go ahead and be their own boss, have their own time freedom so that they can go ahead and do the things that they love. All right. So, however, most people disrespect their time that's necessary to go ahead and build that pipeline, that foundational business cornerstones, right? Okay. So, hear me out. If I was to tell my children anything regarding real estate, I would say, son, daughter, when you have a job, you have a responsibility to show up for that employer every single day, perform your job and work duties as required, as put together in the standard operating procedures. What happens if you don't do that? You're held accountable, and you possibly go ahead and get terminated or replaced with somebody else where that position is necessary to support that component of that person's business that you're working for. All right. So that's the W-2 world that most people have been in. Come out here. Now you're your own boss. Are you holding yourself personally accountable? There are things that are mandatory and necessary to do in your business to go ahead and achieve that success. So what's the alternative for you now? If you don't turn on this mindset shift, do the things necessary, you might not get fired by somebody else, but your business is ultimately going to fire you by way of lack of financial resources. And you're going to have to go ahead and do something else to go ahead and support. So it's black and white. ladies and gentlemen. So you have to get out of your own way, regardless. You can't fill yourself up with hesitation. You have to be charging hard forward and doing the necessary steps to go and support your business. So I just wanted to throw that mindset component out there.
That's perfect. Tim, give me some thoughts from your point of view as a newer agent in the business, kind of piggyback on what Jake just said, because I mean, there's a lot of good nuggets there.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say my initial reaction is it feels a bit like an intervention. No, but but and the truth is, I mean, realtors and business owners and entrepreneurs all have moments of facing let's just call it roadblocks, excuses, whatever, and how they choose to approach it is indicative of who they are or where they're at in life or what's going on around them. And so earlier you were talking about, how do you approach fear? And my answer to that is, how would we like to approach fear is to move through it. And I think fear is the soul's trigger for you to go, yeah, this is something we've got to move through. Like, you've got to go that direction. You got to take it head on. A good example of that for me is I am absolutely terrified of heights. I am not like, I walked to the top of a water park slide only to walk back down and not go down the slide as a grown ass man. Okay. So it's an issue for me. But I also recognize it's an issue for me. And at some point in my life, I was like, you know what, I'll be a firefighter. And so I did go through the fire academy where I had to climb 4-story ladders, climb through windows, all that stuff. And so that was just an example of taking fear head on, because I just didn't want that to be a crippling factor. I think the other thing to think about is that fear, which you carry, does go generation to generation. So your kids are watching. Okay. My daughter is not afraid of heights. I wouldn't discourage her from climbing like a spider monkey as she does at different things. And so all this to bring it back full circle to the conversation of business and real estate. And so here we are. I would say if you're a listener to this show, you're probably headlong into economic uncertainty as far as related to real estate. So for me, I'm no exception. I mean, here I am, independent business owner, running my own real estate thing. Of the books I'm reading, one of the things is you have to recognize where you're bleeding out financially. And sometimes you just got to go back to the basics, and the basics often are free and cost you pennies on the dollar, versus people try to throw money at a problem rather than get involved and dig deep into the problem, just do the basics of running their business. And so this is one of those things I've been faced with, is at least on my real estate side of business, is going, okay, I'm expending, but the results aren't there, partly because it's not just a money problem. I can't just throw money at it. I have to get involved. And so I can give you all the excuses I can give you as to why I kind of cross this bridge of like the money and my actions are not lining up. And so I come back to, what I've got to get back to the actions first. And so that is literally basic calls to my sphere of influence to reach out to people and say, hey, how the hell are you? Things are crazy in the world right now. Do you need anything? No. Okay. Good talking to you. I'll reach back out in the future. Things like that. Okay. I will say that for me, like I kind of introduced myself, I mean, I'm this serial entrepreneur. I look for ways to pivot, and pivoting is absolutely a thing that I do. And so while maybe the real estate market over here is not doing something exciting or great, and maybe I've got to tread through the mud a little bit and tighten the belt on the finances as it relates to my real estate business, I'm also looking for other opportunity. And so for me, it's shifting the energy and the focus to opportunities that, are also profitable, because that's the name of the game. At the end of the day, my job's to bring in income, and I've just got it. What is that movie? I don't know, Liam Neeson. I've got a unique set of skills, right?
Oh,
so that's
when he's going to go chase after the guy.
Taken.
Yeah.
Taken.
Sorry, go
Taken.
ahead.
Yeah.
Taken. There it is. Yeah. But that's how I feel. Is like I've got a unique set of skills. Not everybody has it, but I think everybody can achieve it. And so for me, I can look at it and go, okay, well, this over here, I can analyze and go, yes, I could keep rocking and rolling and cranking myself into it, but I've got to look at the return on investment. And then I go over here and go, well, if I put the same return or put the same investment over here, I've got a much higher return. So, but that's me. And I don't know how that fits into this particular show. I'm just being honest.
It actually does a lot. Actually, you know, one of the things that comes to my mind really, really quickly, Tim, is the fact that when it comes to unique set of skills, I got to bring you off of. There you go. Is that everyone has a unique set of skills, and it's not bad or good, no matter what your skill set is, but that's your skill set. And once you identify that, and once you implement that in your daily business and just life, all of a sudden you can become a lot happier. I see Nick, kind of choking at the bit over there. He wants to jump in on this. I'll let him in a second, but. Nick, one question that what Tim was saying is that when it comes to your skill sets, I would absolutely fucking suck at doing what you do, right? But you excel at it. Jake, led a huge squadron of A-10 Warthogs in Afghanistan and in the Middle East. Tim is a practitioner of what he does. Nick, this is in your vernacular, how do you identify what would be your skill set and when would you become comfortable with it? How did you become comfortable with your skill set?
Yeah, I think.
Shit, sorry.
Am I muted?
Sorry.
Okay,
sorry.
All good.
I muted you, not me. My bad.
So going back to, for me, it all comes back to happiness. And like a lot of people judge success or based on their business, their financial, what's in the bank. And it's important. It's very important. If you're really doing some soul searching though, like if you're in this business and you're struggling, there's two key things that I want to go over. And Jake's mentioned this several times, this one word that is extremely important. But I want you to think about what really makes you happy. And you might have gotten into real estate because you like showing homes and you don't like all the other stuff associated with real estate, like the paperwork and everything else. So if you're in a position right now where you're struggling in your business, I want you to identify, I want you to do a pro and con sheet or an analysis of all the things that you love about real estate, all the things that you hate about real estate, and compartmentalize that, and then delegate or figure out a way to get the things that you hate off your plate, because you're going to move extremely fast or much faster dealing with only the things that you love to do or that you can that make you happy, right? So that's the first thing. So compartmentalize, because when you get into the real estate business, you think that it's just you do a couple of things, and a small business in general, like you end up doing so many things and get so overwhelmed, and then you end up doing nothing because you're so fearful of making the wrong wrong move. So that'd be the first step. Identify all the things that you love to do and really double down, triple, quadruple down on those things that you're really good at. The second thing is being responsible. Jake used that word a lot, and sometimes people really flip back and forth between responsibility and accountability. But I'm here to tell you that the most successful people in the world, the people at the peak of their craft, of what they're doing, start off by being extremely responsible to themselves. So like Jake said, he self-reflects at night. How was my day? What did I do? Was I responsible to my own personal goals? Because the fastest way to get deflated in your own personal life and anything that you're doing is not being responsible to yourself. And when you tell yourself that you're going to do something and you break a promise to yourself, that's where self-esteem just completely withers away and dies. And if you don't have self-esteem, you can't go out and sell. You can't be the best that you can be. So be ultimately responsible to you and to everything around you, because no one's going to save you. Like, that's the thing. What Jake mentioned about you go to work or you miss work, you immediately have your boss calling you and giving you a rash of shit because you weren't at work that day, or you haven't been performing at work. You get that immediate validation or verification or like feedback from your superior. When you get into business for yourself, literally no one is there to save you, and you end up dying the slow death if you don't have the responsibility of yourself to know that, hey, I'm doing this. I made a promise to myself that I'm going to stick to a schedule. I'm going to double down on the things that I'm really good at, delegate or hire out the transaction management side of my business, whatever it is. But be super focused and super clear, because if you're just running around trying to be like everybody else and do all these things, it's way too overwhelming, and you end up just getting completely burned out and become the statistic of you're only going to be in business for 2 years till your savings account dwindles down or whatever. So responsibility is huge, and happiness is really, really big, because you can, Greg, how many agents have you interviewed that have huge businesses, like from the outside, you would like, people look up to these people and they're $100 million a year producers and they're fucking miserable. And then 20 years in or 10 years in or whatever, they're pivoting and they're doing different things, and they might be selling less, but they're happier than they've ever been. So like, what does that define success for you? And what does that mean? And yeah.
Jeff Latham is one of the guys that comes to mind immediately. I call him the Buddha of real estate because he's so namaste. Like, he's just super mellow and chill. The guy was doing like 400 units a year. He fired his entire team and he went down to 40 units a year. This fool's making money hand over fist. And he's bought a second house. I mean, he had a yacht. He just sold it. Now he's looking to buy a helicopter. And that's not bragging, but that's just his version of happiness, right? And so he didn't want to stress over that anymore. But I want to hear from Tim and Jake on that, because I hear this from almost literally every single agent. Nick, you and I have talked about this multiple times on different levels. Obviously not just about you, but about life, myself, everything else. But Jake and Tim, give me your thoughts on this, because I think Nick has a really good point here.
Years ago, I created a program called the Executive Marketing Intervention Program. All right. So literally, it's not just you, ladies and gentlemen, in real estate. Throughout all the years that I've been doing marketing, I've had executives walking in my door. Everybody's got their own thing. Their competition's kicking their butt. They've got new products coming out. They have a huge event that's happening. They need better brand awareness, product awareness, better exposure. They need to go and enhance their unique selling proposition. So it's not just you. Okay. So the Executive Marketing Intervention Program was literally a full checklist, about 4 pages long, of all of the things that are necessary to go ahead and support that business in order to get it to go and grow. And so I urge you guys all to go ahead and do an intervention on your own business personally, and find those spots where you know that you're weak, things that you have to do. Now, I have a very unique seat in this real estate industry. All right. So I have interacted with a tremendous amount of you real estate professionals, and I take it as a personal responsibility from my position to go ahead and find out where your struggles are. Who is your competition? What are the things that you have established inside of your business currently, and make suggestions on where you need to go. This unique seat that I'm in, I have the opportunity to go ahead and see all of these different people all over the place and hear their struggles. So I can go ahead and boil things down to personal involvement of you as an individual in your business. We preach about content all the time, and this is just an example. We're not going on to the content side of the house today, but we're going to do it next week, I can guarantee you. However, perfect example. You guys all know that you should be creating consumable educational content that's relevant at a hyperlocal level, and getting it out there to the folks, and then empowering it, and then maybe putting behind some short advertising dollars to go ahead and boost more awareness on various different social arenas. Okay. You guys all know tonight, when you reflect, you're going to tell yourself, man, I need to be doing this, or I need to be putting this on my calendar. Those are the kind of suggestions that we're making here with the mindset of getting involved into your business. All right. So, have to
but
take
wouldn't it go back to the fact, Jake, to reiterate what you're talking about, to the point that, like, if it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist. And so how do you transform that from hypothetical, like, I want to do something, right? To
I would urge people to go ahead and write it down at a minimum, the things that you want to go ahead and do, and hold yourself accountable to get those things done. All right. Because Your boss will fire you if you don't. You'll lose this as being your own businessman or woman. Putting it on a calendar. It's all about accountability and doing the things necessary in your business that you know are needed to be done in order to go ahead and get more awareness of your brand, of you, your unique selling proposition, your hook, what you offer, and stay top of mind. I can tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, this is, and I've said it before, and if you've been listening to us, this might sound redundant. There are big companies backed by a tremendous amount of money that are trying and are succeeding, and they're in the houses talking to folks. So from a national level, you have a unique opportunity right now to go ahead and hedge that big national competition by being your local ambassador and taking care of those different things. So got to get involved in the game and be proactive, but do a personal intervention. Sit down, write it down. Where do you feel personally? Because I know everybody, this all weighs on everybody's heart. At the end of the day, I know you can't lie to yourself. So if you're sitting down, you know where you're weak, strengthen it up. If you need some help and support, find the right people to go ahead and bring around you. But you have to be taking those actions, and you have to be responsible for your business. Think of it like a baby. Okay. You got to feed the baby. Okay.
Just go a little Italian on us. That was a little.
He did. It
Italian
was a
accent.
little
yeah.
bit.
The baby
He
can't
got
feed
across
itself. You got to feed the baby, right? You got to change the child, and
Ugh.
so on. You got to shelter it. So Greg doesn't know what I'm talking about, but he is a pet parent. So
I do not know. I mean, I pick up dog poo every morning in the dog park, so I guess that's my furry baby that's laying next to me right now. But it is
like
the
the same
same. What?
It's like the same thing.
It is the same thing, but he licks his own butt, so it's really a self-cleaning organism.
at least when he doesn't turn 16 years old, look at you and say, "Dad, I would like that sports car."
I'd be like, "Yeah, you're no more dog park." End of story for you. Tim, what's some of your thoughts in regards to kind of what Jake just went over really quickly? Because there was a lot of good content.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and the cool part about Jake, and this is why I love talking to him, is because there's no doubt the man is an absolute wealth of knowledge. Happy to share it. He's encouraging, and you know, he wants you who's listening and watching this, and me as well, to be the best version of you and successful, and to tap into that and perform, and he sees each and every one of our potential uniquely in ourselves, even when we don't. And so it's why I'm glad to call Jake friend, and why I'm glad to be part of Clever with Jake. And so I can't refute a thing he's saying. So all I would say is listen and take action. And when he's talking, I keep looking over to my left because my 4 foot by 8 foot whiteboard is over here, and I've got a section of it designated for my baseline basic activities on a daily basis that have to happen. You know, that if I'm not at least doing those things, then I'm not, doing a daily, action of my business. Right. And all those little things do add up. And then you got to track your numbers and all this other stuff. And so, but I also understand where Nick's coming from, where it comes back to, what is, if it doesn't make you happy to do it within your business, then you got to figure out something to handle that. And what's really, really interesting about that is the first thing I thought of when he said it was, when I first was started out, I was freaking terrified of doing more than a couple transactions at a time, because I am shit with paperwork. I don't like using dyslexia as an excuse, but I need someone to double check me. I write a weekly newsletter today I got to do it, but I write a weekly newsletter, and my wife is my proofer. She's been my proofer since college because I wouldn't have made it out without her. Okay. So you got to have a team of people around you that help you pick up the slack. Okay. And people that care about you. And even if you got to pay those people to care about you, then pay them. And so for me, what I realized, my biggest roadblock in my early breakout of like, can I do more business than I'm doing right now? Yes. What's my problem? And one of the books I'd read, the one line out of the entire book said, hire your liabilities. That freaking line blew my mind. And that's where I was like, okay, yeah, I freaking suck at my paperwork. It terrifies me. It's crippling me to go get more business while even being a school teacher because of the paperwork aspect. So I found transaction coordinator who was subpar at the time. I got a new one now who's freaking amazing. And but at the time it was good enough to break through that initial barrier of next level success. That barrier that actually got me out of education and allowed me to do full-time real estate. But the other thing is, when you're running your business, I think when you minimize, so part of the stressors of running these businesses where you were, Greg, you were talking about the friend who had 400 transactions a year, but he pulled it down to just fired everybody but himself and he got 50. The irony of that story is, like, I don't want a big ass freaking team. I don't. I want to be doing me and I want to take care of my household and we can have a nice, comfortable life. And we're not trying to get crazy. Now, I have no doubt that crazy money's in my future because of other things that I'm into, that real estate has given me a very unique ability to focus on in time and the money made from real estate invested. But at the end of the day, Jake is not wrong. The basics, but also the daily activities and the actions and the getting out on the social medias and this and that. And I will tell you, I'm going to confess right now. Can I confess? I have been very disenfranchised and disheartened with our social medias in this last 6 months to a year. I'm fucking pissed off at this particular platform and the other ones. Like, I am so fucking pissed. I don't even want to fucking be a part of them. And I'm like the anti of these platforms these days because I'm like, F this. This is not like,
I'm sorry. There's only one letter there. What is F this?
Fuck this.
Thank
my
you.
point is,
oh
like,
my God. Okay. Now we're speaking.
I am. So I'm listening to this and I'm like, like if you want to hear my internal conflict I have on a daily basis, and I don't know that everybody's got it, but I certainly fucking do. And it is like, I do not want to contribute any fucking money to these people. I am bearish when it comes to this kind of thing these days, where before I'm like, yeah, let's freaking rock the YouTube. Let's rock this. Let's do that. And I'm like, people that I care about, people that I follow, people that are telling truth daily in and out are getting deplatformed and demonetized. And by me going on there and engaging that platform, I'm supporting it. And I'm at a place in my life where I can afford to boycott by abstaining. And that's where I'm at. So on one hand, you could say, go ahead.
Let's talk about that for half a second.
We just added a whole nother hour to the show.
I'm sorry, y'all. But no, I got passionate because I'm like, dude, I reflect on this. Like, I go to sleep going, ugh. But
so Nick, jump in on that, because I mean, you're balls deep in on Facebook advertising. I mean, what's your opinion? Because I mean, I'm with Tim on this one. I mean, I am with the different platforms. I'm very frustrated. Let's put it that way. And that's a very light way of putting it, because they seem to just grasp our balls and just squeeze until we give in. So, Nick, how would you circumvent that? And ladies, I'm sorry for the vulgarity on that one.
All right. I got passionate. I'm out.
Well, so this is where I would say, coaching moment. Put your big boy pants on and separate personal from business, and realize that there's billions of people every day on the platforms that you want to boycott. And I'm not talking directly at you, just in general, that you would have to make a personal decision if that's how you feel in general. I can't knock that. But what I will say is, I'm a big proponent, and it doesn't matter what the platform is. Right. I'm still very bullish on Facebook because it's where the ideal client avatar is for buying and selling houses, which is the people that I help through my marketing company. So, but what I will say is, it doesn't matter what the platform is. They're all kind of banding together in this way that Tim was referring to. And it from a personal side, yes, it rubs me the wrong way, but from a business side, you got to stay relevant if you want to be in business. Personal opinion. If you don't want to run your business that way, that's the beauty of being, having your own business and doing it exactly how you want to do. If you just want to call up your friends every single day and have a direct communication and you only want to sell 30 or 40 houses, you can do that without doing Facebook ads and having a database in a Sphere where you take them out to lunch and you do personal phone calls and handwritten notes, and fine. But if you want to scale, it's really, really difficult to scale without using these social platforms, in my opinion, right now in this day and age that we use. So as far as contributing dollars, I would say compartmentalize that from business and personal. There's still billions of people using these platforms that you can't ignore that. And I'd say you can't beat them. So you might as well just use it to your benefit and extract some dollars that will benefit you and your business by using these platforms, which is what we do every single day. So I don't know if that.
Amen.
A
lot of people
I
have-
can't disagree. Not a single word with what you said.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I'm not cutting off my nose to spite my face. I get it. So,
But again,
anyway,
that's about being, like you said, I said in the beginning about being happy. What makes you happy? You want to sell 40 houses? Cool. Like, that's great. That's a great business. I don't know, your average price point in Texas is probably $400,000. That's a great business. Do you need to run Facebook ads for that? Not so much. Will it help? Sure. Will it make it easier when you make those calls because you're running Facebook ads and people see you and you're more top of mind and it's an easier phone call? Yes, obviously. It's your choice, and that's the beauty of being your own business and having your own business. But what makes you personally happy? And I think that just it's the root of everything. And I think you have to really understand that. Be aware of that aspect of your life, because you can win the lottery and commit suicide because you're so unhappy. Like that doesn't change anything, right? So if you're going to be in this business, if you're going to have your own business, you could have a fucking popsicle stand, sell snow cones or whatever. That makes you happy. Cool. If you're happy with selling 10 houses and you don't run Facebook ads and you don't cold call because you hate doing that, but you're happy selling 10 houses, then great. I'm happy for you. But if you're unhappy, you need to take a close look at why you're unhappy and take actions to change that. Because what you consume, if you were looking, and this is where the social media platforms are really good at, if you're looking for unhappy, you're going to fucking find it. If you're looking for happiness, you're going to fucking find it. So which way do you want to choose? Do you want to choose to be happy? Are you interacting with these algorithms and they're feeding you all this horse shit that all of a sudden now it's like Facebook sucks because all I see is this? The reason all you see is that is because that's what you're interacting with. And all the algorithm is doing is feeding you the horse shit that you want. So be very intentional about what you listen to and what you watch, because I promise you it follows you around. That's why we're in what we're in and why people are so polarized and angry, because it's all about what you look at.
Being
Welcome to your shadow.
Being intentional. I love that, Nick. So I'd like to go ahead and say something before we wrap up.
Sure.
Once again, we have a responsibility to our business, all right, to help it grow and go. We have to look at these different tools as just that, vehicles to go ahead and carry out your message, to go ahead and obtain more awareness for you and what you are offering to your prospective customer. Okay. Look at it as tools and try to separate yourself from business and personal. All right. Go into that responsibility mode. Now, we all heard this before. If we change the way that we look at things that we look at change. And I'd like to highly suggest that I know people are emotionally charged now and have been and will be even more emotionally charged. That's just the world that we live in. We live this beautiful, non-infinite life under God. We have a responsibility on a daily basis to be the best that we can be under that kingdom, right? And for the people that depend on us. So charge hard forward, ladies and gentlemen. If you change the way that you look at things you look at change. And I want to suggest this. When markets are up, there's wonderful opportunity. When markets are down, there's wonderful opportunity. When the markets are in the middle, there's wonderful opportunity. What are you going to do today to go ahead and start putting your business in a position to go ahead and receive that beautiful wealth and take advantage of all of these things? So God bless each and every single one of you guys out there that's listening. I truly wish the best for each and every single one of you. So just keep charging hard. You got this.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I am sitting here shaking my head in a positive way. I'm agreeing with both of my co-hosts. Guys and gals, since Jake, you were just last talking, how can people get a hold of you? to kind of further a conversation because I know that you are doing incredible things with Clever Leads, spelled with a K. So where can they find you and how does that look?
Yeah, Clever Leads next week is getting ready to launch a whole US-wide national referral and transportation network to empower real estate agents to go ahead and give huge hooks, unique selling propositions of $10,000 to $25,000 free move programs that you're offering along to other people. We have a whole suite of services to go ahead and help you guys out, from all of your advertising needs, virtual assistants, advanced tracking websites, powerful next-gen CRM systems, and more. So if you guys are interested in getting into my inner circle, just come on over to Clever Leads right now. That website, the way that it looks, is getting ready to change here in the next couple days. But still, you can enter in your information. One of my employees will reach out to you and schedule a one-on-one meeting with myself. Looking forward to meeting you guys.
I love it, man. That's awesome. Nick, where can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, guys, if you want to join the Facebook group, search for Real Estate as a Joke. We do some fun stuff in there. If you'd like to book a call with me and find out how you can become a dominant force in your marketplace, basically what we do is we help you through video distribution. So we do video interviews and then turn that into multiple pieces of content throughout all social media platforms so that you can stay top of mind to your database and sphere, along with casting a wider net in your marketplace for new opportunities. Go to getamplifiedmarketing.com and book a call with me, and I'd love to chat.
Rock and roll. And then, Tim, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, first, before I say all that, I'm going to say if you're listening to this, the three other people in this episode right now are all best at their craft in their markets. And so if you don't know that already, you need to dig in, you need to follow them and support them and learn from them. Like I said, they're the best of what they do, and they represent it, and they're right here for you. So that being said, I'm in Fort Worth. I service the Fort Worth area. My phone number is 214-734-5131. Happy to help you with referrals and getting people moved in and out. But anyway, it is a business that can bless you, absolutely bless you. And there's so many different ways to make money in real estate and really in just being an entrepreneur in general. And so I would invite you to, if you haven't already, just start reading, explore. If you found something that's a niche for you, then get a coach who's an expert in it, and don't be afraid to pay the money, or get somebody who's an expert in an area you wish you were better at and pay them like any of these guys. And so that's my offer to you. Definitely take it and make the most of it, and God bless you.
There it is, guys. Tim Parnell dropped hammer. I love it. You know, Jake Wolf is always a legend. Nick Sakis is one of my dearest friends, and this guy is an absolute legend in his business as well. Thank you for watching, listening to everything that we put out here today. Guys, I don't want you guys to be a part of a small pack. I want you to go into to be a part of a big pack, and I want you guys to join us over at EXP. Jake and I are putting together a really big crew over in Florida and around the country. This is going to be something that's going to be unstoppable. Tim's part of what we're doing, and it's just going to be something incredibly fun, not to mention financially beneficial to all of us. So go out there, guys, have some fun. And here's a funny image of me making my dog take his own snacks to the dog park.
Earn his keep.
Very nice.
He was not.
Teach them while they're young, Greg. Teach them while they're young.
I am, and I'm taking the dog park after this for a walk to clear my head. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We love you to pieces. Thank you. We cannot do this without you. Give us that 5-star, not a 2-star rating on every place you listen and watch podcasts to help the algorithms get up there. Mention Tim. Mention Jake. Mention Nick. If you guys liked what they had to say, which I know you do. But until next time, wait, what the fuck am I doing?
Wait.
I know. I almost fucked that up. Okay. Nick, I need a color for the bow and the show.
I'm gonna go Bitcoin gold because everybody needs to be buying the dip right now, baby.
Okay, that's so many jokes on that right now. So we're gonna go with Bitcoin gold. Jake, what's your color?
We're going to go a little Irish green today.
Irish green. All right. And, of course, Tim, what would be your color for the bow on the show today?
I'm gonna go with whatever this is. Kind of like teal blue. You know,
Teal
color.
blue.
Facebook blue is what you mean.
is that what?
You love
Oh,
Facebook
thank
so
you.
much.
Yeah, Facebook blue. Son of a.
Okay, there it is. That's our color for the bow on the show, guys. We're going to go with Bitcoin gold. We're going to go with Irish grain, and we're going with Facebook blue for the bow on the show. Thank you, guys. We love you to pieces. Until next time, ninjas. Peace out. We gone.